It was like a month ago. Somebody asked me, dude, why do you still play on console? Like, what's the fucking point of, having one? And, it was around the time, I was complaining about PlayStation 5 Slim, Xbox. I was complaining about all consoles at the time, except for the Nintendo Switch. And, I think that's a decent question, because, I'm not going to show the specs, but I have a pretty decent gaming rig. Honestly, I think it's good enough to play pretty much any game released for the past year. And yeah, like I think that's a fair question. Like, why would you want a console? And the obvious answer is like exclusives and stuff like that. Although, a lot of the games that I play, some of them are exclusives, some of them aren't. Honestly, I think the PS4, 3, 2 definitely. But PS4 was probably the last generation where like exclusivity really mattered to me on the PlayStation side. This generation, there haven't really been that many exclusives that I cared about. Maybe it'll change in this year. I did remember there was this one game that actually seemed kind of interesting, but yeah. But even then, you'll still see me play on PS5. And recently, I've been really playing on the PS5. Like, it started off when might not show Judgment here, but I started off with Judgment, then Like a Dragon, then Lost Judgment, then Like a Dragon Gaiden, and now I'm playing Infinite Wealth. So I've been spending a lot of hours recently playing on a PS5. And honestly, the main reason is this. It's physical copy. Now, you might see PS4 here. Why would I buy the PS4 copy when I have a fucking PS5? Because the PS4 copy comes with a PS5 upgrade. Now, it is a digital version, and you don't technically own the game files. It's not stored here. But, honestly, I'm fine with just having the PS4 copy. And, I kind of wanted to have both versions anyway, so why not just buy the PS4 version, Sure, I don't own the superior version of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, but I can make do with that. But yeah, like, it's pretty much it. It's just physical copies. Like, I have talked about in the past, stuff like, I care a lot about consumer ownership. I care a lot about, game preservation. But I also think it's a bit of the otaku side of me. I just like collecting stuff. I like collecting nerdy shit like this, regardless of how useful it actually is. It's just the anime nerd otaku side of me. I can't really resist that aspect of me. And yeah, physical media on PC, it's pretty much dead. Like, sometimes I'll go to secondhand stores, and the only physical media for PC games that I find are for like really old games. So yeah, it's a dead medium. I get it for good reasons. Physical copies for PCs were all horrible. They were shit. They had invasive DRM. They had all sorts of problems. So I understand that. It honestly, for the most part, it's probably for the best that we stick to digital stores, especially because even back when we had physical media, I didn't technically even own those discs anyway, because they either required online checks or they were limited to serial numbers and fucking whatever, serial keys. But yeah, it's pretty much physical media. And sure, I like, okay, right now I'm playing this game. Could I get a superior experience if I got this on PC? Probably. Like, my PC has higher specs than the PS5, so yeah. I'm sure I could probably get higher frame rates. I'm sure I could probably get higher resolutions, but the thing is, like, me personally, I don't like that stuff doesn't matter to me. Like, it does matter. Like, I do care about playing at like high resolutions, high frame rates, but I don't think I care that much. Like, to be honest, I think I care more about physical ownership than I do about high frame rates and resolutions, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like, honestly, to me, like, right now, this game, I think it runs at, like, 1440p-ish, at, like, 50 to 60 frames per second. For the most part, it's 60s, but I have actually found a couple of areas where it's running at 50. Because, the Dragon engine is texting the Zen 2 CPU in some cases. It was inevitable, if I'm being honest. But, like, yeah, like, I'm sure I could get a better experience here. But honestly, like, the thing is, like, speaking from experience, when I play on a PS5, dude, at some point, like, I start to not really give that much of a shit. Because to me, the game is what matters. Like, I care more about the game than the fucking resolution and frame rate. Like, this is why, for example, like, one of the main reasons why I don't have an Nvidia card is that one of the things they sell is like ray tracing and DLSS. I'm like, okay, ray tracing, like you're turning on ray tracing and like tanking more than half of your performance. That's fucking, I don't get why. And I don't know if I care that much about the graphical improvements from ray tracing that I would care. And as far as DLSS is a great feature. I actually quite like it, but dude, do I care that much about visual fidelity that I'm gonna fucking bitch and complain if I have to use FSR, especially FSR2 that's like perfectly fine? It's like, not really, dude. Like, again, when you're playing games for like long hours, that shit doesn't really fucking matter. What really matters is the fucking gameplay, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, like, yes, I can get superior experience here. And honestly, there have actually been some games that I chose to play on PC because I thought I would get a better experience. For example, when I was revisiting the Yakuza series, I did one of the main things that actually pushed me to play on PC was playing Kiwami 2 and Yakuza 6, because those games were running on the Dragon engine. They did not receive any like major PS4 Pro update. Not that I think the PS4 would even be able to run those games at like that superior of a frame rate, because it was still relying on those shitty Jaguar CPUs. But yeah, like it certainly didn't receive any update to run better on PS5. So you are still playing those games like 30 frames per second. So I thought to myself, hey, on PC I can play those games at 60 FPS. So why the fuck not? I'll just buy them on PC. And yeah, like in some cases I can actually see myself preferring to play on PC, but even then it has to be games where I really care about. Like, I care enough about the Yakuza / Like a Dragon series that I'm willing to pay for them again. Like, I don't really care. Like, this right here is like, okay, this is Lost Judgment. Maybe not the best example. Yakuza 0. I'm not joking, I have probably 4 different copies of this exact game. I have the digital version on PS4 that I bought on the PS4 store. I have the physical version that I actually bought last year, funny enough. I have this one from Steam, and I have the other one from GOG. I have 4 different copies. And I can do that with this series because I care a lot about the Yakuza series. I care a lot. I am more than willing to buy the same game multiple times. But for other games, like for example, I don't know, like Cry Machina, like I bought this game because it looked cool, and I thought to myself, hey, I can either buy this on PC or I can buy this for consoles. Now, Cry Machina does work pretty well on Linux, so as far as compatibility goes, it's pretty decent. But then I thought to myself, yeah, but you know, I want to own the game physically, so I ended up buying this physically. And I don't know if I'll ever buy this on PC. I would obviously be able to get a better experience there because I'm able to get higher frame rates and resolutions and stuff like that. But do I care that much? Do I see myself buying it again? Probably not. And you know, that's just kind of how it is. It's just a case of, and also, you know, consoles, they generally are more convenient. Like this PS5, I fucking grabbed my controller, clicked the PS5 button, and then just booted up the game. It's a pretty seamless experience. PC, my experience on PC is generally also pretty seamless, but you know, it is a little more it is a little more subject to potential troubleshootings that I have to deal with in some business. Now, granted, you know, I've been gaming on PC for long enough. I mean, I say long enough, but honestly, it hasn't been that long. But I'm a Linux guy, so PC troubleshooting is kind of my thing. I have to do this regardless. So I wouldn't even say that's like a major problem for me, but it is something that I also have to consider. Now, of course, there is another benefit to playing on PC, and that's mods. And I don't know, to me, mods, they're hit or miss. Like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Most games that I've ever played, I did not mod them. Like, at all. Like, mods are nice, but I don't care too much for them. Like, I think recently the mod that I think probably mattered to me more than usual was the Tanimura mod for Yakuza 4, which actually was one of the things that made me play on PC. Was the Tanimura mod. And yeah, I guess situations like that can convince me to play on PC, but honestly, for the most part, like a lot of the games that I play, I don't really mod them. Like Yakuza, for example, like Sure, there are some, restoration mods that you can install. And I do actually think that with a lot of them, it does legitimately improve the experience. I care enough about them. But again, this is Yakuza. I care enough about Yakuza that I'm willing to put up with that shit. But like most games, I don't think I care that much about mods. I think it's nice. I think it's one of the coolest aspects of PC gaming. But I don't know. Unless we're talking about very specific games that I care enough to mod, I don't think this is like an appeal that like matters to me that much. Like, I'm being completely honest, most games that I play, I do not mod them. Like, I'm a single player guy. I care about, finishing the single player campaign, and that's about it. Like, modding is a good extra benefit to playing on PC, but I don't think it's like a determining factor that'll push me there. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like, and here's the thing, like, I'm not even saying this to like shit on PC gaming. I obviously care about PC gaming. I've made videos talking about, whether or not games work on Linux and stuff like that, and I make those videos because I do genuinely care about playing on PC. I am someone who's also very passionate about Linux, so whenever I'm able to play a certain game on PC, especially on Linux, it matters to me quite a bit. If I'm able to play a game even on Windows, but if I'm able to virtualize it through Linux, that also makes me pretty happy. Sometimes there's certain technologies that are exclusive to Windows, and I'll just boot up Windows just to try it out. Like some of the things that AMD and even Nvidia has been doing. Mostly AMD for me because I use AMD cards because fucking Linux drivers are on the AMD side is a lot better. But whenever there's like cool technology happening on the Windows side of things, I think recently I heard that Windows is actually considering having their own internal upscaler that I think is powered by AI. That seems pretty fucking cool. That when that shit comes out, I'm gonna fucking test it day one. So yeah, like there's definitely some stuff about PC that I do care. I think it's awesome. I think it's nice. I like PC gaming quite a bit, but if I'm buying games, I'm probably going to buy physical copies. And if I'm buying physical copies, that also means I'm probably gonna play on PS5. It's not out of any like, it's not out of any particular like alliance, like allegiance or loyalty to anything. Like I'm not a loyal to fucking Sony or anything like that. I think I've shat enough on Sony that I like to believe that this isn't something that I need to fucking convince anyone. I'm not a fucking PlayStation fanboy, even though it might seem that way, but trust me, I'm not a PlayStation fanboy. Even the Switch, like I have this thing like I have emulated certain games because emulating a Switch is pretty fucking easy, and even on Linux it's pretty easy. And I remember, I think even Red Dead 1, I emulated this on PC. It runs nice when you're able to unlock certain stuff, like when you're able to allow the CPU to like run at like maximum clock speeds. That shit can run pretty fucking well. Definitely higher frame rates than this shit. I can play it on 4K, stuff like that. So I'm able to get a better experience on PC, but even then, like, if I had to count the amount of times I've played Red Dead Redemption 1, it's mostly been on the fucking Switch, because honestly, the Switch is a pretty fucking convenient device to have. And yeah, like, I have to play it like 720p and 30 FPS, but like, again, it's like what I mentioned earlier, like, when you're just playing games, that shit just, when what you're mostly focused is the game, that shit doesn't matter as much. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to share. I hope this video was fun. I know I've been making a lot of unscripted videos, and that's because there's definitely a lot of reasons why I haven't been scripting videos, but I don't know, that shit might come in the future. Maybe one day I'll kind of explain what's the situation on my channel, but and it's fine, it's nothing serious, it's honestly pretty chill. But yeah, I think that's all I have to share. Hope you guys are doing well.